Test 1 2. Test 1, 2.
All right, Peyton Schroeder to the plate for the Cardinals. 2 balls, no strikes, 1 away. Jack Jefferson on third for the Cardinals. Mariuzzi down at second. Pitch in, and Schroeder fouls it back. Runs the count. 2 balls, 1 strike. Camden Fairview versus Hamburg. Going to play a 3-inning game, I believe. The game before was Hamburg versus Smackover. Camden Fairview will play Hamburg for 3 and then play Smackover for 4 innings following this game. 1 away in the inning. Schroeder squares the bunt and misses, and it runs the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Schroeder calls and gets time behind the plate. We are in the top of the first inning. No score, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 away here in the ball game. And Schroeder hits that one off the tip of the bat, and it's going to roll foul. Landon Whitaker on the mound for Hamburg. And the pitch, Schroeder taps that one over towards second base. And the throw, not in time, fumbled around there by the second baseman. He couldn't get a hold of it. Schroeder beats the throw out, drives a run in, and Camden Fairview goes up 1-0 here early. Drew Bostic to the plate now for the Cardinals. Drew playing first base for the Cardinals tonight. And first pitch in for a strike to Drew Bostic. Runners at the corners for the Cardinals. Mariuzzi moved over to third on the single by Peyton Schroeder. And the 1-0 pitch, that's high. Sorry, that was the 0-1 pitch, and runs the count. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 away. Camden Fairview up 1-0 here early in the ball game. And that pitch in for a strike, and the throw down to second is mishandled there by the shortstop, and that brings Mariuzzi in from third base, And Schroeder moves down to second. On the stolen base, could be error maybe on the throw or the catch. The throw was a little wide. Nonetheless, Schroeder moves down to second. Utsi in from third. Drew Bostic has 1 ball, 2 strikes. The count on him as the Hamburg coach is going to bring him out to the mound for a little conversation here early. Can you write this on there? Well, you can wait. All right, back underway. Scoreboard showing 2 balls, 1 strike, but I believe it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. And that one up around the head, and that runs the count. They are saying 3-1. Okay, 2-2. That's the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Drew going to ask for and get time. Scoreboard showing 3 balls, 1 strike. So a little confusion there with the coach. Whitaker looks in, gets his sign. He is going to come to the plate with a pitch. That one down low. And that runs the count full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch, and that one's low in the dirt. That's going to draw the walk for Drew Bostic. That puts runners at first and second for the Cardinals and brings Elijah Scantling to the plate for Camden Fairview. In their position, name, number, position. If they just do the number for position, that's fine. All right, runners first and second for Camden Fairview. Elijah Scantling standing in. That pitch catches the outside edge of the plate for a called strike. And Whitaker working fast. Scantling swings through that one, and he is in the hole 0-2. And Scantling makes contact. We're going to foul that one over. Fielded by Coach Austin May in the coach's box there for the Cardinals. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 away. Camden Fairview up on Hamburg 2-0 here in the top of the first. That pitch inside, close to the knees of Elijah Scantling. And again, fouled off on the third base side. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 away. And Whitaker coming set. He's going to deliver. Scantling again fouls that one off. Count still 1-2. Here comes Whitaker. Scantling hits a rocket over to third base, caught, and Peyton Schroeder retreating back to second base, and the throw hits him in the back of the head. But Schroeder safe at second. Hard hit line drive right to the shortstop for Hamburg. Michael Betts, the third baseman for the Cardinals, stands in. And that pitch low and away. That pitch in for strike one, evens the count up at 1-1 strike. 1-1, 2 away. Cardinals up 2-0 here in the top of the first. Whitaker turns, throws that ball out into center field, and Schroeder is going to move on down to third base on the error throw there by Hamburg. A couple of mistakes here early for the Hamburg Lions, and Camden Fairview taking advantage of those. 2 runs across, and now runners at the corners. 2 outs, 1-1 count for Michael Betts. And that pitch is hit off the tip of the bat, and it's going to be fouled over into the first base coach's box. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Betts fouls that one on the third base side. Camden Fairview going to play both Hamburg and play Smackover after this, playing 3-inning games. Prior to this game, Smackover and Hamburg played. Just a little competition here to get the season started and get these guys some reps, trying some guys out at different spots for the Cardinals, and then trying to get that roster set. Betts fouls that one over the third base or first base dugout into the parking lot. And Betts hits that one over to third base, picked up by the third baseman, knocked down, but no play there. And Michael Betts with an RBI single brings Brody Dow to the plate for the Cardinals. Brody Dow stands in, 2 away. Cardinals up 3-0. That pitch inside now hits it down third base line, but foul. And that pitch finds the outside edge of the plate late there, and now in the hole, 0-2. And that ball hit deep center field, but just not far enough. Center fielder for Hamburg under it for out number 3. Camden Fairview with a couple of hits and score on a couple of errors, and they go up 3-0 here in the top of the third inning. Hamburg on their way to the plate. All right, Charlie Lewis on the mound for the Cardinals tonight to start the ball game. Behind the plate, number 12, Daniel Chambers. Drew Bostic starts the game at first. Elijah Scantling over at second. Jack Jeffers at shortstop. Michael Betts at third base. Left field, Zach Moorhead. Center field, Brody Dow. And right field, Jamari Utsey. Colt Tubbs leading it off for Hamburg here in the bottom of the first inning. First pitch from Lewis finds the strike zone at the knees for strike one. Here comes Lewis with delivery on that one. That ball's kind of hit off the handle into no man's land over there behind third base, just into left field. And that's going to be a base hit for Tubbs. Taylor Mercer, the shortstop, now to the plate for the Lions. We are in the bottom of the first inning. Cardinals lead it 3-0. And he's running, swinging on the first pitch, and that ball hits the ground. They might double him up. Oh, they got him. He got back in time, slid under the tag. I thought they tagged him out there on second. Talon Mercer with a base hit there. And that moves Tubbs over to second and gives them a runner in scoring position here early with no outs in the bottom of the first inning. Luke Barley, now the catcher, is your batter for the Hamburg Lions. Charlie Lewis with the sign. He looks back, checks second. Nobody covering. He's coming home. Good block there by Chambers. And the count is 1 ball and no strikes to Barley. Lewis with his sign. He is going to look back, check, and brings it home again. That one a little low. And the count is 2 balls and no strikes. And that pitch in for a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike now. Runners at first and second for Hamburg. No outs. We're in the bottom of the first inning here from George Branch Field in Camden, Arkansas. Cardinals versus the Lions here. And that pitch down the middle, and that's hit hard and deep out to center field to the fence. Zach Moorhead picks it up, and that's going to score 2 runs, and Barley in with a 2 RBI triple. And that puts Hamburg on the board with 2 runs across on that triple by the catcher, Luke Barley. I'll move over. That ball tapped back to Charlie Lewis. Checks third, throws over to first for the out. Landon Whitaker now the pitcher for the Hamburg Lions to the plate. The runner at third is the catcher, Luke Barley, with that triple. that scored 2 runs for Hamburg. Lewis with his sign, he is going to kick, deliver, and that one in the dirt. And Daniel Chambers thought it was behind him. It bounced off over towards the first base dugout. But Charlie Lewis over to get the ball, and Barley stays put at third base. 3-2 the score, bottom of the first inning here. Camden Fairview with the lead. Here's the pitch, and that again in the dirt and blocked there by Chambers. Two balls and no strikes, the count to Whitaker. Here comes the pitch from Lewis, and he digs down and gets that one. Going to tap it over to third base, fielded by Michael Betts. And everybody is safe. Betts, that was a slow kind of chopping roller, died in the grass. Betts fielded it barehanded, but still no throw over to first base. Puts runners at the corners. Brings the first baseman Lane Maxwell up for Hamburg. Three to two, your score here. Bottom of the first inning. We're going to play 3. Following this game, the Cardinals will play 3, maybe 4 innings against Smackover. The game before this was Smackover and Hamburg, just a little 3-team round robin here to get the season started. Cardinals played last Friday their red and white game. And this just starts non-conference play for these teams. And that pitch fouled off into the leg of Maxwell. The count is no balls, 2 strikes. Oh-2 count, 3-2 Cardinals with the lead, bottom of the first inning. Charlie Lewis with the sign. He is going to kick, delivering that pitch just a little outside. Runs the count 1 ball, 2 strikes. Cardinals trying to get another out here. Get out of this inning, trying to keep the Lions from tying it up early, and they're in a pickle, and everybody's safe. The Landon Whitaker just started walking towards second base. Lewis stepped off and ran towards him. Barley couldn't make up his mind if he wanted to try to come home or not, but everybody went back to where they were at, and that pitch misses outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And that pitch high hit off the handle of the bat, Scantling under it for the catch, and out number 2. Brings Bentley Stale to the plate for Hamburg. And that pitch swinging a miss there. No balls and 1 strike. Lewis looks in, Stale batting from the left side of the plate. And that pitch fouled back, and the count is 0-2. So 2 away, and Lewis ahead in the count 0-2. Cardinals lead it 3-2. Runners at the corners, though, for Hamburg. Base hit here would probably tie the ball game. And that runner's going, and no attempt there by the catcher. Ball a little low. He did a good job of keeping it in front of him. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the first inning. And Lewis kicks and delivers, and that pitch inside and low runs it to 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 count. Charlie Lewis trying to get this last out here, and that ball punches him out. Late strikeout call there by the home plate umpire, but paints the edge of the plate, and Lewis gets out of that one with no more damage. Couple of hits, a couple of runs across, and we're going to the top of the second inning. Camden Fairview leading Hamburg by 1. All right, Daniel Chambers to the plate for the Cardinals. Daniel getting the start behind the plate tonight for the Cardinals. First pitch swings and fouls it back over the first base dugout into the parking lot. Like spider web. And that pitch outside, Chambers lays off. Evens the count up at 1 ball and 1 strike. And that pitch at the knees, and that runs it to 1 ball, 2 strikes. Camden Fairview ahead here in the top of the second inning, 3-2. And that pitch in the dirt bounces and hits the backstop, and that evens the count up 2 balls and 2 strikes. Charlie Lewis waits on deck. Camden Fairview going to bat through their players. I think they're going to bat 13, as is Hamburg. And Chambers swings at that one, goes down on strikes for out number 1. And Charlie Lewis at the plate now. First pitch is low and away. And looping off speed. Curveball looked like, and that missed. Taylon Mercer now your pitcher. He and Whitaker swap places there at shortstop. And that pitch in for a strike. 1-1 strike, 1 away here, top of the second inning. George Branch Field, Camden, Arkansas. And that pitch in for a strike at the letters, or the number on Charlie Lewis's jersey. 1-2 strikes. And that ball in the dirt. Lewis swings at it. It gets away from the catcher, and Lewis is going to get to first base on a drop third strike. Good hustle there by Charlie Lewis. And that puts a man on base for the Cardinals. Jackson Wilson now going to bat for the Cardinals. And Wilson tips that one back into the glove there of the catcher. All right, no balls, 1 strike. Jackson Wilson, your batter here for the Cardinals. 3-2 score, top of the second inning. Cardinals leading these. Mercer going to throw over to first base. It runs Brody Dow back to the bag. And swings and fouls that one over behind first base into the parking lot here at the George Branch Field. And Wilson in the hole 0-2 here to Mercer. Mercer getting his sign. He's going to kick and deliver, and a hard hit ball right back. And they double him up. Nice double play there by Hamburg. That ball hit straight back to the second baseman. He fields it, throws over to shortstop, covering second, and back over. And they turn a double play and get out of the inning. Good looking double play. 3-2 going to the bottom of the All right, Cooper McNamara going to lead it off here. Bottom of the second inning for Hamburg. Camden Fairview up 3-2. And that ball is hit foul down the third base line. Oh, 1 count to the right fielder, Cooper McNamara. Trapper Tippin and Judd Murphy will follow. And that ball fouled back into the fence, and McNamara in the hole 0-2 here to Charlie Lewis. And swings through it for the strikeout. Nice job there by Charlie Lewis. And gets the strikeout of McNamara. That brings Trapper Tippin, left fielder, number 12, to the plate for Hamburg. And here comes the pitch by Lewis. Chases an outside fastball, and he is in the hole 0-1. And that pitch up high in the zone. Evens the count, 1 ball, 1 strike. And that ball inside in the dirt. And the count, 2 balls and 1 strike. 3 balls. Just whatever the scoreboard says. Elmo's running the scoreboard up there today, apparently. And so the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. And that runs it to 3-1. Three-one pitch from Lewis, swing and a miss, and runs the count full. Good looking change up there by Charlie Lewis. And that ball hit straight up but out of play. Behind the plate, and the count remains 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 away. Cardinals leading it here in the bottom of the second inning. And that is just a little high. And he's going to get the walk. And gets a base runner going there for the Lions. And number 14, Judd Murphy, is going to be your batter now, and that'll put Colt Tubbs on deck for Hamburg. And that ball hits off the top of Daniel Chambers' glove, high pitch, and Chambers went up to get it, just not enough glove on it, and that's going to move the runner down to second base. They brought in a runner for the left fielder, or the left fielder there. And that ball hit Oppo right down the line, and they're going to call it a fair ball. That drives home 1 run, and he is in with a double. If that was indeed a fair ball, it was right on the line, and it was a nice piece of hitting to the opposite field. That ties the ball game, 3-3. Colt Tubbs back at the plate. And that pitch, a little bit of chin music there from Charlie Lewis. 1 ball, no strikes. And swing and a miss on that one. Evens the count up 1-1. Judd Murphy on second with that double with an RBI ties the ball game up. 1-1 count to the center fielder Tubbs, and he bounces that one over to third base. Michael Betts feels it. The throw is not going to be made, and they're going to catch Tubbs in a rundown. They got that out, and that was okay. He's still at first. I couldn't find Colt Tubbs, and I thought he had moved down to second, but he is standing on first base, so they got the lead runner on that one. A little bit unconventionally, but it'll work. We'll take it. Call that a fielder's choice, and that brings Talon Mercer moved over from shortstop, pitched the last inning, and he hits that one hard to third base. Michael Betts on it. He throws over to first, and off the bag a little bit. Bostic makes the catch and the tag for the third out of the inning, but a couple of hits, and they're going to get a run across and tie the ball game up here. Headed to the top of the third inning, it is a tie ball game, 3-3. All right, number 5, Aiden Zimmerman, going to lead it off for the Cardinals. And that pitch in for a strike. No balls, 1 strike to Aiden Zimmerman. Little expedition game tonight. I still don't think I said that right. Exhibition. There we go. Cardinals taking the advantage in batting several players, getting everybody some swings and a little experience here, and giving me a chance to expand my vocabulary. Exhibition. Exhibition. There we go. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 3-3 score here, top of the third inning. Camden Fairview versus the Hamburg Lions. And curveball fouled back out of play. And runs the count to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two-two count. Here comes the pitch to Zimmerman outside. He lays off of it. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Rodney Frazier going to follow Zimmerman in the lineup here. And that pitch outside runs the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. All right, payoff pitch now from Hamburg, and Zimmerman fouls it back. He's listening to the Bee Gees, staying alive. 3-2 count. And chases a high pitch there for the strikeout. 2 away, and that brings Rodney Frazier to the plate. And Zach Moorhead will senior Rodney Frazier to the plate. That first pitch is outside. Trapper Tippin is your pitcher now for Hamburg. Kick and delivers, and that pitch again outside. 2-0. And that one in for a strike. Might have been a little low. Hamburg coach kind of arguing the first 2 pitches there, asking where he was missing at, and then gets the call on a low pitch. 2 balls and 1 strike. And Frazier fouls that one over on the first base side. Evens it up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. All tied up at 3. Cardinals need to score a run or 2 here. Only going to play 3 innings. And that pitch gets away from Trapper Tippin. Runs the count full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. He lost the grip on that one way up over the outstretched glove of the catcher. Hits the backstop and Runs it full, 3-2, one away. Nobody on here in the top of the third for the Cardinals. And fouls that one back over between the first base dugout and home plate. Frazier staying alive. He is got a good at bat going here. Let's see if he can win it on this pitch. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 away. Cardinals and Lions tied here in the top of the third. And that one is right back here in my face. And Frazier with the walk. And Cardinals get a man aboard on the walk, and that brings Zach Moorhead to the plate for Camden Fairview. Moorhead struck out in the first inning. So Zach going to try to get things going here in the top of the third. Camden Fairview needs to score a couple of runs here. Jack Jeffers to follow Moorhead, and that again high and away, and Trapper Tippin having a little bit of trouble finding the strike zone. Catcher's going to go out and settle him down here. 3-3 ball game here in the top of the third inning from George Branch Field here in Camden. All right, the meeting on the mound is over. Zach Moorhead back in the box. 1-0 count. And that pitch again in the same spot as the last one, and it is 2 balls and no strikes. Frazier at first base for the Cardinals. Rodney has got some speed here. 1 away, top of the third, tie ball game here between the Cardinals and the Lions. And that pitch, a little outside, called strike 1. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 away to Zach Moorhead. 3-3 tie here, top of the third inning. Immediately following this game, the Cardinals will play the Smackover Buckaroos. Three-one count. Jack Jeffers to follow Marietta. Here comes the pitch, and Moorhead hits that hard ground ball, and it is past the second baseman, and Rodney Frazier digging for third, and gets thrown out on the relay there at third base. Good piece of hitting there by Zach Moorhead to move him over, but good relay throw there by the shortstop and gets Rodney Frazier at third base, and that's 2 away now for the Cardinals here in the top of the third inning. Jack Jeffers now. And that pitch is out into right field. Throw down by the catcher and went out to the right field, but the right fielder there to back it up, and Zach Moorhead with no opportunity there to advance to second base. Good heads-up play by the right fielder from Hamburg there to back up the throw. And that pitch high and away. 2 balls, 1 strike to Jack Jeffers. He steps out. Tibbins steps off the rubber, and he's back ready to go. And that one's inside. 3-0 count to the Cardinal shortstop, Jack Jeffers. Mariuzzi on deck for the Cardinals. Love to put Jeffers on here and give Utzi a opportunity at the plate, and that pitch down the pipe. Jeffers taking all the way on that 3-0 pitch, and it is now 3 balls and 1 strike. Hitters count here, and here comes the 3-1 pitch, and it's high, and Jeffers is going to take first base on the walk, and that brings Utzi to the plate for the Cardinals. Peyton Schroeder will follow Utzi. Drew Bostic after that, and we're going to have a meeting on the mound. And I don't know yet. Can't tell if we got a pitching change or not. All right, looks like Tibbins going to remain on the mound for the Lions. And that's going to bring Mariuzzi to the plate for the Cardinals. 3-3 tie, Camden Fairview with runners at first and second. And Utzi with a chance to put the Cardinals ahead here in the top of the 3rd inning. Zach Moorhead, he's definitely got the speed to score there from second base. And Jack Jeffers as well, if you're not careful, from first. So something out in left center, right center field would, in no man's land out there, good chance to score a couple of runs for the Cardinals. First pitch to Utzi misses, ball 1. Here comes the pitch, and Utzi swings through that one. And it evens it up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Utzi with a base hit to right field in the 1st inning. And that's a called balk by Tippin, and that's going to send the runners ahead, puts Moorhead at 3rd and Jack Jeffers over at 2nd. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 away, tie ball game here, top of the 3rd inning. Camden Fairview trying to go ahead in this ball game. And that pitch in the dirt. Two-one count. 3-3 tie here in the top of the 3rd inning. Chippin looks in, checks over at 3rd, kicks and delivers, and Utzi swings through that one now and evens the count up 2 balls and 2 strikes. And in a 3-inning game, looks like Camden Fairview going to be down to their last strike here to have an opportunity to put a run or 2 on the board here before Hamburg gets a chance here in the bottom of the 3rd. And Utzi asks for time and gets it. And here's the pitch, and it's high and away. Full count now, 3-2. 2 away. Count remains 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here. Runners at second and third base for the Cardinals. Zach Moorhead down at third. Jack Jeffers out at second base. And here comes the payoff pitch again from Trapper Tippin. And that one's in the dirt, and that's going to send Utsi down to first base and load the bases for Peyton Schroeder. All right, Peyton Schroeder stands in for the Cardinals. Bases loaded. And that pitch straight down the pipe. And Schroeder looks at strike one. Now, Drew Bostic would be next if we can put Schroeder aboard here. No room for him, so that would score a run. And the Cardinals need a run. Schroeder fouls that one back out of play, and he is in the hole. No balls and 2 strikes here. All right, Schroeder in protect mode here. 0-2 count, 2 away. 3-3 tie, top of the third inning in a 3-inning game. And here comes the pitch to Schroeder, and he hits that one high in the air out towards right field. In foul territory, right fielder giving chase, just couldn't make it in time. So Schroeder's going to get one more chance at it here. Jeffus and Zach Moorhead both came across the plate, so they're getting back to their spots, and the catcher going to run out and have a conversation, bringing the infield in here. 0-2 count, 2 away, top of the third inning. Camden Fairview trying to score a couple of runs here and try to hold the Hamburg Lions off in the bottom of the third inning to pull this game out. Camden Fairview will face Smackover directly after this game is over. All right, 0-2, Peyton. And throw's going to go over to third base, and Zach Moorhead with not a very big lead, back plenty of time there, just a couple of steps and back on the base. All right, here comes the 0-2 pitch. And Schroeder is going to hit that one. Shortstop feels it long, throw over, and I think he beat it. He beat it out. Nice job by Peyton Schroeder. It looked to me from here that he beat it out, and it was called there by the infield umpire that he beat it out. So Schroeder with a RBI single, and going to bring Drew Bostic to the plate with the bases loaded here at the top of the third inning. All right, Drew Bostic at the plate for the Cardinals. And Bostic hits that one long out into center field, but just not far enough. And the center fielder under it catches it for out number 3. Cardinals get a couple of hits and one across. And they're going to go into the bottom of the 3rd inning, leading the ball game 4-3. All right, Jack Jeffers on the heel now for Camden Fairview. We're going into the bottom of the 3rd inning. Cardinals with a 4-3 lead. Luke Barley to lead it off for Hamburg here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And first pitch from Jeffers in for a strike. And that one just a tad inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1 pitch from Jeffers, and that ball's hit hard. Shortstop just bounced over the glove of Michael Betts, I believe, is out at short now. Betts moves over to short with and Elijah Scantling at second. And I believe the outfield remains the same as well, with Moorhead in left, Brody Dow in center, and Mariuzzi in right field. 1-1 count here to the third baseman, Carter Sesser. And that pitch from Jeff is up a little high, 2 balls, 1 strike. Probably just leave the live stream going. I don't think I'll close it out and start another one. So we'll leave it going, be a little break in the action as they warm up, and then we'll be back with Smackover immediately following this game. 4-3 Cardinal lead, bottom of the third inning. And the potential winning run for Hamburg at the plate. He fakes a bunt there and shakes the bat there at Jeffus, and he throws it in for a strike. And here comes the pitch. Runner goes, and that pitch is outside on a 3-1 count, and he's going to take the walk. Runner advances down to second base anyway. And now the winning run for Hamburg is standing on first base. Cardinals need to turn a double play here. No outs. Runners, inside pitch. And he spins out of the way. Landon Whitaker squared the bunt there. Going to play a little small ball, try to move some runners around. And squares the bunt again, lays it down. That's going to be fielded by the pitcher, throw over to first, and they get the out. But it does move runners over. Cardinals did a good job of fielding it, but it was the bunt they wanted, just sacrificed to move the runners over. And now the winning run over at second base. And I got a feeling number 21, Maxwell, is going to be swinging away here with 1 out in the bottom of the third inning. 4-3 Cardinal lead, but Hamburg threatening here in the bottom of the third. And that ball swung, and that's going to be fielded by Michael Betts, and no play, and that gets a run across and ties the ball game. Betts fielded it deep out towards the edge of the grass and doesn't attempt to throw over to first, and that ties the ball game. Winning run now for Hamburg, 90 feet away. By home plate umpire. Bentley Stale, the batter, and time called again. They're gonna have a pinch runner, courtesy runner, not sure, for Lane Maxwell. I can't tell who the pinch runner is. I'm here 4-4 in the bottom of the third, and they're going to throw over. Jeffers throws over to third, and the runner moves down to second base. This point, that guy's not an issue. just opens first base. And that ball hit just opens first base. And that ball hit off the tip of the bat. Betts fields it over to first for the out. And I think they're just going to play it out. That's gives it gives Hamburg a 5-4 lead, but we're going to go ahead and play the outs. 2 away, and first pitch to Cooper McNamara is a ball. Still can't get a number on the runner down there at third. Was the pinch runner for Lane Maxwell. He's now at third base. And that pitch high, and he swings at a high pitch in the zone. Tried to check it, just not in time, and that's going to be a strike. 1-1 count, 2 outs, 5-4 lead for the Hamburg Lions here, bottom of the third inning. And that pitch off speed, a little outside. Nice looking pitch. I would have thrown that pitch too after he chased that one up high. Try to get him to chase one outside the zone again. He didn't bite on this one. 2 balls, 1 strike. 2 away. Let's see if Cardinals can get out of this inning with no more damage. Here comes the pitch, swung and fouled out. 2-2 count. 2 away, 5-4. Hamburg lead here, bottom of the third inning. Here comes the pitch, swing and fouls that one back again, out of play. All right, here comes the 2-2 pitch again, and swing and miss, and that's out number 3. And I do believe that'll be the final out of the game. Hamburg's going to pull this one out 5-4. All right, Camden Fairview versus Smackover here in the third exhibition game of the evening. First pitch from Michael Betts is swung on and hit to right field by Judson Wolf, and that's out number one. That brings number 6, the center fielder Mitchell Polk, to the plate for the Buckaroos. Michael Betts on the hill for the Cardinals. And Daniel Chambers again behind the plate for the Cardinals. That pitch in from Betts for strike one. Infield is Drew Bostic at first, Elijah Scantling at second, Jack Jeffers over at third, shortstop, Jackson Wilson at third base. And that pitch high and away, and 1-1 count there to Mitchell Polk. Left field for the Cardinals is Zach Moorhead. Center field again, Brody Dow. And right field, Mari Utzi. Two balls, one strike to Mitchell Polk. Here's the pitch, and chops it over third base, fielded by Wilson. Throw over to first, and drew the first baseman off the bag just a little on the throw. Drew tried to tag him going by, and he was already on the bag. And looks like
batter number 7, Jaden Bryant.
Might have a Polk may have holding his hip there. I don't know if he pulled a muscle or what he had got going on there, but it looks like he's going to have a runner there for Mitchell Polk. Derwin Goodwin going to come in and run. One away here, top of the first inning. Runner on first, Derwin Goodwin for Mitchell Polk. And that pitch misses low to Jaden Bryant. One ball, no strikes, one away here. We are in the top of the first inning. Smackover Buckaroos versus Camden Fairview Cardinals. And that's going to take a look over to first base. No throw. Goodwin back in plenty of time. And that pitch is fouled back. Evens the count up. Michael Betts with his sign. He peers over his shoulder, and he's going to take the pitch. Jack Jeffers feels it, the chunk to second, and just not in time for looks like Daniel. That happened so quick, guys. I believe that was definitely a double play. And I'm not sure if the ball got knocked out of Drew Bostic's hand, but it was an out already, or if Daniel Chambers was backing it up there and actually tagged him out on the turn. But nevertheless, nice job there by the Cardinal infield, fielded there by Jack Jeffers. The underhand over to Elijah Scantling. Scantling throws to first, and the 6-4-3 with maybe an added 2 in there, not sure, gets the double play. And we're going to the bottom of the first inning. No runs for the Buckaroos. Cardinals coming to bat. All right, Zach Moorhead to lead it off here for the Cardinals. Bottom of the first inning, no score. Jaden Bryant on the mound for the Buckaroos. Ryder Beasley behind the plate. And first pitch in the dirt hits the screen. Bryant delivers that pitch a little low. And the count 2 balls and no strikes to Camden Fairview leadoff hitter Zach Moorhead. Zach Moorhead, Jack Jeffers, Mari Utzi, Peyton Schroeder, your top 4 for the Cardinals. And that pitch outside, and the count is 3-0 to Zach Moorhead. Big crowd out tonight for these 3 ball games. Smackover brought most of the town. Camden Fairview with a big turnout as well. And then you got a pretty good sizable crowd came from Hamburg. 3-1 count. Selling barbecue sandwiches in the concession stand tonight. And that pitch is ball 4, and Moorhead's going to take first base. And that's going to bring Jack Jeffers to the plate. All right, these two are cousins. Let's see what happens here. Jaden Bryant, Jack Jeffers. Who's going to win the battle? Here comes the pitch from Bryant, and that's in for a strike. Moorhead, he's leaving. Jack Jeffers fouls that one back into the parking lot, and Moorhead will trot back down to first base. Cardinals trying to move these runners over. 0-2 count to Jeffers. He's in full protect mode here. Let's see. Bryant going to try to paint one of the corners here on Jeffers. Not give him much to swing at, but make him think he's got a swing. And here's the pitch, and Jeffers swings through it for strike three and the first out of the inning. Going to bring Mariuzzi, the right fielder for the Cardinals, to the plate.
Now batting right fielder, number 2, Mariuzzi.
All right. Got their signs. Mari squares the bunt, pulls back. Let's see if he's swinging, and there is the throw down to second over the head of this cover and shortstop there. And Zach Moorhead in with a stolen base. Moorhead with a sizable lead. And here comes the pitch, and that's outside. Fastball from Jaden Bryant there. Had some velocity to it, but just off the plate. 2-0 count to Mariuzzi. And Bryant brings that one home. Off-speed curveball just caught the edge of the plate there. Good-looking pitch. Froze Mariuzzi, and that's going to be 2 balls and a strike. Zach Moorhead with a big lead out there. Got the shortstop behind him. Jaden Bryant's going to bring it home. That one's in the dirt between the catcher's leg, and Moorhead's going to make it easily down to third base.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a blue van that's blocking in a car.
Blue van blocking a car.
License plate, but if you own a blue van, please check that your vehicle is not blocking someone in.
3-1 count to Jamari Utzi, the right fielder for the Cardinals, senior right fielder. Right, comes set, delivers high and away, and that is ball 3. 3-1 now, maybe. Zach Moorhead down at third base. He's trying to come to home plate. That one is fouled back off the tip of the bat, out of plate. Hard hit ball. Full count. Mariuzzi trying to bring Zach Moorhead home here. Bottom of the first inning, no score. 1 away. Here comes the pitch, and out. All right, Peyton Schroeder to the dish now for the Cardinals. Runners at the corners. He takes a lead there at first. Jaden Bryant turns and looks, now comes set. And Schroeder squares to bunt. Mariuzzi hops back towards first, pulls back, but Mariuzzi down to second. Hard throw down towards second, snagged out of the air there by the pitcher, Jaden Bryant. But Utzi moves down to second base, puts runners second, third, one away. And that pitch painted the line there. And Schroeder down 0-2 now to Jaden Bryant. Drew Bostic on deck for the Cardinals. And fouled back out of play over the third base side. Schroeder stays alive in the at-bat. All right, Schroeder back in the batter's box. Jaden Bryant comes set, kicks and delivers that one outside. And 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bryant comes back with a fastball out of the strike zone, trying to get Schroeder to chase it just off the plate. Schroeder lays off. A 1-2 count. Here comes the pitch from Jaden Bryant. Inside, fouled back into the mask of the catcher. He's all right. Ryder Beasley, the catcher for the Buckaroos, runs out. Talks with the pitcher, Jaden Bryant. He'd give him a minute to shake that foul ball to the face mask off. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 away. Runners at second and third for the Cardinals. Mariuzzi down at second base, and Zach Moorhead stands at third. And Peyton Schroeder back in the box. Here's the pitch from Bryant, fouled back into the fence. And Schroeder extending the at-bat here for the Cardinals. All right, the 1-2 pitch again. Bryant throws it, that one's outside, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Again, Bryant comes back with a fastball on the outside edge, trying to get Schroeder to chase after it. Here comes the 2-2 from Bryant, and that's hit into the outfield. That's going to be down, and good hit there by Schroeder. Kind of bobbled in the outfield. That's going to bring 2 runs home for the Cardinals. Nice hit there by Peyton Schroeder into left center field. And a RBI, 2 RBI double or single for Schroeder. All right, Drew Bostic to the plate. He walked and flew out to center in the last game versus the Hamburg Lions. Fouls that pitch back. And no balls, 1 strike. And Drew steps out. He's back in the box. Jaden Bryant comes set. And Drew fouls that one back, and he is in the hole 0-2. 1 away. Here in the bottom of the first inning, Cardinals with 2 runs across on a single by Peyton Schroeder. Scores Mariuzzi and Zach Moorhead. Schroeder standing on first now. Drew Bostic at the plate. In the hole 0-2 to Jaden Bryant. And the pitch, Drew Bostic hits that one foul down the first base line. He's going to get another shot at it. Hit it off the tip of the bat. Bounced it just over the foul line. All right. All right, Drew Bostic ready to go now. Back in the box. And the 0-2 pitch again on the way from Jaden Bryant. And that one's low and a little bit outside, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. To the first baseman tonight, Drew Bostic. One, 2 pitch. Here it comes. And Drew hits that one hard up the middle. And that ball is going to be down. And Drew Bostic with a single. Good piece of hitting out to center field. And that moves Schroeder over to second base. Savage Scantling to the plate now for the Cardinals. One away. Cardinals with a 2-0 lead. Runners at first and second. That pitch finds the outside part of the plate. 4 strike 1 to Elijah Scantling. And that pitch again outside. Bryant comes back with the same pitch a little higher in the zone, but it outside edge or outside the edge of the plate. 1-1 count, 1 away. Peyton Schroeder down at second, Drew Bostic over at first base. And Elijah checks his swing, hits it kind of funny over to, gets Bostic. He dropped the ball, but they say it was on the exchange. So Scantling in a fielder's choice. Drew Bostic out at second, but that's runners at the corners for Michael Betts. All right, Michael Betts stands in. First pitch from Jaden Bryant down the pipe for a strike. And that pitch inside evens it up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Peyton Schroeder stands at third base. Elijah Scantling at second. Base hit here will bring Schroeder home. And that pitch inside. Woo! Called strike. Looked a little high and tight. 1 strike. All right, time called by the home plate umpire. All right, Michael Betts back in the box. And the pitch, and it swung and hit, and that's going to be in the gap. And that's going to score Peyton Schroeder. So a ground ball to left field by Michael Betts scores another run for the Cardinals. Brody Dow now up for the Cardinals. All right, Cardinals now with a 3-0 lead. And Brody tried to check his swing, but they say he went around, and that is strike one there to Brody Dow. And that pitch in for a strike. Brody Dow down 0-2. Jaden Bryant's got Drew Bostic, Brody Dow, and Peyton Schroeder down 0-2, and they all first two come back and with base hits. Let's see if Dow can follow here. And he swings, hits that one off the handle, pop up first base, caught, and Drew Owens catches that one for out number 3. Cardinals get a couple of hits on a couple of walks, score 3, and we're headed to the top of the second, 3-0 Camden. All right, Drew Owen leading it off for Smackover. He hits the first pitch hard into center field. Brody Dow chases it and comes up with the catch for the out. Nice job there by Dow. Diving catch in center field for out number 1. Good hit there. Looked like it was going to be in the gap. Brody Dow chased it down. That's your ESPN dun-a-dun of the night. That pitch finds the outside edge of the plate. Slade Arnold chases that one, same pitch, same place. And 0-2 now to Slade Arnold. And that pitch down in the zone. And hits that one to third. Over in time, got the out. Nice job by Jackson Wilson fielding it, throw over to Drew Bostic at first. And 2 up, 2 down. Brings up the second baseman, Drake Magoo. I think that's Magoo. Michael Betts kicks and delivers. That's a high fastball. Magoo swings through it. It bounces off the glove of the catcher to the backstop. But it is strike one to Magoo. 2 up, 2 down. Cardinals trying to get out of this inning pretty quick here. Here's the pitch, and it's a curveball. Nice pitch there by Betts. And Magoo down 0-2 now to Michael Betts. Comes the third pitch again. That one is hit. Nice. Oh, just couldn't dig it. Nice job there by Jack Jeffers. Slid on his knees, stopped the ball, kept it from going into left field. Just not enough on the throw. Drew the first baseman off. Good try, good effort. And that's going to put Magoo on first base. Good piece of hitting there by Magoo. And now the left-handed catcher, Ryder Beasley. And first pitch to Beasley in for a strike. Curveball there by Betts. Freezes Beasley, and that is strike one. And that ball hit second base, fielded by Scantlin, throw over to first base for out number 3. So they leave one stranded on one hit, no runs. We're going to the top of we're going to the bottom of the second inning. They don't pay me enough to keep up with what we're doing, y'all. Bottom of the second inning, Cardinals lead 3-0. All right, leading it off for the Cardinals here in the bottom of the second inning is the catcher, Daniel Chambers. On the hump now for the Buckaroos, number 15, Drew Owen, moves over from first base. And swings on that one, hits a rocket over by the first base dugout. 10 feet over, and it ripped one of his teammates' head off. That was a shot. And hits over to second base and unable to handle it. And Chambers going to be in with a hit to first base to lead the Cardinals off. Lead off single there by Daniel Chambers. A rough hop there on the ball, and it Brody Dow comes in to run for the catcher, Daniel Chambers. Jackson Wilson, third baseman, to the plate, checks his swing. That pitch outside for ball number one. And throw over to first by Drew, first base. Here comes the pitch, and Wilson swings through that one. 1 ball, 1 strike. Throw over again by Owen to check Dow at first, not in time. And squares to bunt and pulls it back outside pitch. 2 balls, 1 strike. Beasley checks down at first, makes sure Dow heads back to where he's supposed to be, and Jackson Wilson again squares to bunt, and they get Dow this time. Picks him off at first base. And that ball in for a strike, evens the count up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Tough way to get the first out. Nice piece of hitting there by Chambers, and outside again, Wilson checks his swing. And that pitch inside, and Wilson's going to take the walk. That's going to bring Charlie Lewis up to the plate for Camden Fairview. A 1 away, 3-0 lead for the Cardinals here, bottom of the second inning. And that pitch finds the outside edge of the plate for strike 1 to Charlie Lewis. Swings through that fastball inside, and he is in the hole. No balls and 2 strikes. And Lewis goes down on strikes. Aiden Zimmerman now to the plate. And Zimmerman fouls that one back into the fence. I have a talk with Mr. Zimmerman about that after a while. And no balls, 1 strike. Jackson Wilson down at first. We got 2 outs here, bottom of the second inning. That pitch inside gets past the catcher Beasley, and Wilson is going to go down uncontested to second base on the pass ball. Moves the Cardinal runner into scoring position. Here comes the pitch from Owen, and that is swung on, hit to third, chopped over. Ball is in time to first base. So Cardinals are going to strand one on a hit. No runs across. We're headed to the top of the third inning, 3-0 Cardinals. All right, Riley McDaniel to lead it off for Smack over here in the top of the third inning. Michael Betts still on the mound. That ball swung and fouled back. And McDaniel hits that one third base, fielded by Jackson Wilson. Throw over in time for the out. Nice job by Wilson to charge the ball, field it, and get the throw over to first in time. And that retires McDaniel here in the top of the third inning. Braxton Bryant now the right fielder to the plate. And Betts kicks, delivers in for strike number one. And that pitch, nice looking pitch there by Michael Betts. Inside edge of the plate. And Bryant down 0-2. And Betts comes back with a, look like maybe a changeup off the plate just a little bit. Braxton Bryant didn't bite, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch from Michael Betts inside, and that evens it up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And strike 3. Nice job there by Michael Betts. And Braxton Bryant goes down on strikes. 2 away here in the top of the 3rd inning. Tyler Reeder now your batter for the Buckaroos. Fog rolling in right field. Looks like the Thriller video. The right field fence at any time now. Here comes the pitch from Michael Betts, and that is in for a strike. Betts got the rhythm here. He's pitching well here for the Cardinals in the top of the 3rd inning. Cardinals lead it 3-0. Exhibition baseball here to start the year off. That one outside, and Daniel Chambers thought he had it in his glove, and it had bounced out and off a foot and over to the smack over dugout. 1 ball, 1 strike. And that one fouled back out of play. And the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. All right, the 1-2 pitch on the way from Michael Betts. And down in the dirt, evens it up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And outside, runs the count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Two count to Tyler Reeder. And Betts will kick and deliver. And that one's hit into left field. A bunch of folks out there. Jack Jeffers diving for it, and it fell in between 3 Cardinals. That was hit into no man's land, and all 3, the left fielder, shortstop, third baseman, all got close, just couldn't get there in time. And Tyler Reeder on board with a base hit. And Reeder going to have a pinch runner. Thomas Walker now your batter for the Buckaroos. And crawling back to the bag. Michael Betts looks over at first. He Toes to rubber comes set. And that pitch inside. That was headed right towards the batter, Thomas Walker, and broke out of the way. Had Walker running from it. Still didn't find the strike zone, but a lot of movement on that pitch from Michael Betts. And that one outside, and Walker ahead now 2-0. Top of the third inning, Cardinals leading the Buckaroos 3-0. 2 away, and the Buckaroos with a runner on first base off of a hit into no man's land by Tyler Reeder. 2-1 count. Betts throws it, and Daniel Chambers loses the ball on the transition there. No throw down to second. The runner goes uncontested, and now the Buckaroos with a runner in scoring position. Yeah, 3-0 count. See if Walker has the green light or if he's going to be taken all the way here. Michael Betts delivers that pitch in for a strike. And the count goes to 3-1. And that pitch is away, and that's going to walk Thomas Walker. And that's going to draw a visit from pitching coach Todd Schroeder. Back in business here. Grantley Barnett, your batter for the Buckaroos. Smack over with runners at first and second, 2 away. Barnett swings and misses at that high changeup there. No balls, 1 strike. And that pitch past the catcher, and that's going to move the runners up 1. Derek Goodwin, the pinch runner for Tyler Reeder over on third. And Thomas Walker moves down to second base. All right, time called. They're going to get a new baseball. A 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 away. Cardinals lead at 3-0. We're in the top of the third inning here. Here comes the 1-1 pitch from Michael Betts. And in the dirt, nice job by Daniel Chambers to use every bit of his shoulder that's not padded. It hit right outside where those chest protector comes and right in the point of that shoulder, but he blocked the ball. He'll have a bruise there in the morning, but that's all right. It'll feel better when it quits. Like evens it up. 2-2. All right, Michael Betts. He's set, looks back. Here comes the 2-2. And it's in for strike three. And Barnett watches strike three. And they leave a couple. No runs across. Cardinals coming to bat here in the bottom of the third inning. All right, Rodney Frazier to lead it off for Camden Fairview here, bottom of the third inning. First pitch misses for ball one to Rodney Frazier. Right. I think we may be playing 4 innings in this game. And that pitch low and away. 2 balls, 1 strike. Time called. And Frazier back in the box. And Owens throws a pitch, and that was hit hard over on the first base line, foul. And that pitch in for a strike. Frazier watches strike 3 at the knees and goes down for the first out of the inning. All right, Zach Moorhead back up for the Cardinals. And swings at the first pitch, fouls it into the Cardinal dugout. Look out. All right, Zach back in the box. Drew Owen working fast. That pitch hit into right field, and that's going to be down for a base hit. Base hit there for Zach Moorhead brings Jack Jeffus to the plate. Jeffus, a strikeout victim in the first inning, trying to get something going here for the Cardinals in the bottom of the third inning. Throw back over quick to first base, runs Moorhead back to the bag. And big swing and a miss by Jeffus on the pitch from Drew Owen. No balls, one strike. And that pitch high, fastball, that had some heat. High in the zone. Ryder Beasley had to go up for that one, but it was traveling. 1-1 count. And that one high and away, 2 balls, 1 strike. 1 away, but Zach Moorhead is down at first base for the Cardinals. And throw back over, Moorhead back in time, diving into first base. Drew Owen has picked off a Cardinal base runner already in the last inning, so he's got to move. He throws again. That ball gets past the first baseman. It's going to roll to the fence. Moorhead's going to round second base and going to be standing up at third. So error throw by the pitcher, Drew Owen, gets past the first baseman. Jack Moorhead makes it around to third base. And the Cardinals 90 feet away from scoring another run with Jack Jeffus at the plate with a 2-1 count. 1 away, Cardinals lead it 3-0. And that pitch is in the dirt, gets by the catcher, and it is going to be Zach Moorhead coming across the plate for the 4th run of the evening for the Cardinals. Cardinals capitalize on a couple of mistakes there by the Smackover Buckaroos and score the 4th run of the game. 3 balls, 1 strike now to Jack Jeffus, 1 away. We're in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And that pitch on the outside edge of the plate. Full count to Jack Jeffus. And Jack fouls that one off out of play. Full count again, Jack Jeffus. Here comes the payoff pitch from Drew Owen, and it is outside. Jeffus takes first base on the walk, and that brings Marietzi to the plate for the Cardinals. Let's see, walked in the first inning, come around and scored. And that pitch high and away. 1 ball, no strikes to the Cardinal right fielder, Marietzi. All right, Drew Owen peering over his shoulder. He comes set. Jack Jeffus at first base. Here comes the pitch, and it is on the outside edge of the plate. Good looking pitch. A 1 ball, 1 strike count to Marietzi. 1 away. Bottom of the 3rd. Cardinals with a run across in the inning. Trying to tack on a couple more. That pitch, or that throw over to first. Jack Jeffus dives in ahead of the throw. One ball, 1 strike to your Cardinal right fielder, Jamari Utzi. And back over to first again. Jeffus in ahead of the throw. coming home with a pitch high and away, 2 balls, 1 strike. Two-one pitch. Drew Owen comes home with it outside. Oh, on the outside edge of the plate. Looked like it was outside from here. 2-2 count. Anything close now for Jamari Utsey. Here comes the pitch, and it's high and away. Count runs full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here, bottom of the 3rd inning. Cardinals lead it 4-0 over the Smackover Buckaroos. Jack Jeffers stands at first. And the pitch, Utsey swings through it for strike number 3. So the strikeout by Drew Owen makes it 2 outs and brings Peyton Schroeder to the plate for the Cardinals. All right, Owen checks Jeffers again over at first, diving in ahead of the tag. Two-way Peyton Schroeder at the plate. He had an 0-2 hit in the 1st inning. Strike to Peyton Schroeder. Drew Bostic waits on deck for the Cardinals. And there's the pitch. Schroeder hits that one off the end of the bat and popped up. Fielded by the 3rd baseman for the 3rd out of the inning. Cardinals leave one, but they get one across, and we're headed to the top of the 4th inning. Cardinals lead it 4-0. All right, Judson Wolf to lead it off here in the top of the 4th inning for Smackover. Cardinals lead it 4-0. Michael Betts still on the hill for the Cardinals. That pitch away from the catcher and to the backstop. 1 ball, no strikes. And that pitch in for strike 1. A 1-1 count. Judson Wolf, the batter for the Buckaroos. And that pitch a little low. 2 balls, 1 strike. Michael Betts kicks, delivers, and that one inside again, away from Daniel Chambers, a little low. And the count is 3 balls and 1 strike to Wolf. 4-0 Cardinal lead, top of the 4th inning here from George Branch Field, Camden, Arkansas. Exhibition baseball to start the 2026 season. Cardinals trying to split a couple of games here. And that is a walk there to Judson Wolf. All right, Derek Goodwin to the plate for Smackover. Wolf down on first, and that pitch in for a strike. Michael Betts with 3 innings of shutout baseball, trying to get the 4th here. But runners on the bags early for the Buckaroos. Here comes the pitch. That one gets away from the catcher, and Wolf going to go down to second base uncontested. And Buckaroos with a runner in scoring position, no outs, a 1 ball, 1 strike count. And big pitch there by Betts, big swing by Goodwin, and he swings through it for a strike. One ball, 2 strikes. And the pitch from Michael Betts fouled back into the fence. 1-2. Runner in scoring position out at second base. And Betts going just a little outside. Good looking pitch there by Michael Betts. And the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch from Michael Betts and gets him on strike 3 looking. Nice pitch there by Betts at the knees. Change up and froze Goodwin, and he goes down on strikes. Brings Jaden Bryant up for Smackover. And that pitch just below the kneecaps. 1 ball, no strikes to Jaden Bryant. Judson Wolf out on second base there for Smackover. 1 away, 4-0 Cardinal. Again, away from the catcher and moves the runner down to third base. So now Smackover 90 feet away from getting on the board here. 2-0 count to Jaden Bryant. 1 away, top of the 4th inning. And swings through that one. Here comes a pitch from the pitch in the dirt there. Hit the dirt, bounced over the head of the catcher. It was going to be hard for him to block. Nevertheless, Smackover across the plate puts a run on the board. Jaden Bryant with a 3-1 count. Pitch is low, and Jaden Bryant going to draw a walk. All right, Drew Owen at the dish for the Buckaroos. Jay, 1 away. Here comes the pitch in the dirt and blocked there, but Bryant gonna go down. He started kind of slowing up when he got towards the bag, and Daniel Chambers threw it down. It was a little closer than it should be. 1 ball, no strikes. So, and at the plate, Michael Betts on the mound for the Cardinals. Here comes the pitch from Michael Betts, in for a strike. One ball, 1 strike count. Here comes the pitch from Betts. That's swung and hit into right field, and it's going to fall for a base hit. And put runners at the corners, and Slade Arnold to the plate with the potential tying run for the Buckaroos. Need a ground ball, turn 2 up the middle, and let's put this thing to bed. Here comes the pitch, and outside, knocked down there by Daniel Chambers. And there it is, strike. 1-1 count. 4-1. But Smackover with runners at the corner and Slade Arnold at the plate with the 1-1 count. Here comes the pitch, and the count is 1-2. All right, 1-2 count. And that's in for a strike. Nice pitch by Michael Betts and gets Arnold looking on an inside fastball right on the edge of the plate. Good looking pitch there by Michael Betts to get the second out of the inning. All right, Drake Magoo up for the Buckaroos. Still runners at the corners. And swings at the first pitch, hits it foul. Here comes the 0-1 pitch from Betts, and that is missed somewhere. Looked like a good pitch, 1-1. Maybe it been a little low there. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 away. Cardinals lead at 4-1, top of the 4th inning. Popped up out of play behind the plate, and 1 ball and 2 strikes now. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 away. Here comes the pitch from Betts, and that strikes him out. Nice job there by Michael Betts. Gets the last 2 batters there. It's going to be the ball game, folks. Cardinals will travel Monday night to Monticello to open up the regular season. Cardinals split a pair. They dropped the first one 5-4 to Hamburg and pulled this one out 4-1 against Smackover. Thanks for tuning in. We'll bring the game to you Monday night, hopefully from over Smackover, and drop a 5-4 contest to Hamburg in the game before. Thank y'all for listening. We'll see you next week.